When I was at school, I hated art class. Everybody else loved it. That was the one class that everyone wanted to go to, but not me. I hated it. I couldn't draw, I couldn't paint, I couldn't make a pottery cup. I couldn't do any of it. So I became pretty notorious at faking my grades just to skip class. I just didn't want to go. Because I felt really uncreative and unimaginative and just untalented. And I didn't want anyone to know about this. So I got out of class, I got away with it for a really long time, and I put it down to being left-brained. You know, they love to tell you that there's left-brained people and right-brained people, and that made sense to me. And I said, great, and off I skipped. I thought, I'll never need that again. I'll never use it again. And then, about a year ago, I started working for Point Blank International. And you can imagine my utter horror when I walk in and meet these guys. All of a sudden, I am bombarded with post-its and Sharpies and visual mapping techniques and prototyping. And if I had known this, I would not have applied for the job. So what could I do? I mean, I had to face the music, I had to confront these things that I've run away from for so long, and what came from this was a whole new mindset for me. All of a sudden, I found a new way of expressing myself. I found a new way of interacting with materials and with interacting with other people. You see, I saw myself as uncreative until I found this way of interaction, found this way of working with materials. And discovering this for me, using, basically I always thought creativity was being able to draw, and it's not. Creativity is something that you can do in a number of ways, and for me this was about thinking with your hands. This is what really made sense to me, because I found a way of using creative methods in a business context, and as a problem-solving tool, as a way that made sense for me. And this quote meant a lot to me when I first read it. This is from Richard Sennett, who wrote the book The Craftsman. And it says, making is part of thinking and feeling a part of making. And that was my moment. That's when I thought, aha, okay, now I get it. Now I have a reason to make. And nowadays, I actually run haptic activation workshops for people like me who fell under this misconception that being hands-on and taking a hands-on approach is just for artsy people. You know, for me, using prototyping techniques and being more hands-on helped my abstract ideas come to life, and it also helped me communicate better with my team members. So, this month's topic is hidden, as Jürgen said. And for me, this is about hidden talents. It's about a hidden source of ideas, but it's also about this hidden tacit knowledge that you release when you start manipulating things with your hand, when you start touching things and becoming haptic with things. Hidden knowledge comes about. And in the theme of hidden, I really wanted to do a little bit of a hands-on exercise with you guys. So in a minute, not just now, but in a minute, I'm going to ask you to look under your chairs, where I have hidden a little parcel. So go ahead and take a look and grab your parcel. Yeah, for the people at the back who don't have chairs that I can hide stuff under, the lovely glamorous assistant Plaston is now handing out some of the bags. Now if you open up these bags, you'll find 6 Lego bricks inside them. And I want to get you guys fiddling about with the bricks and playing and using your hands. So I've got a little exercise prepared. It's a tiny mini haptic exercise. I want you to use all 6 of these bricks to build ducks. Anything, ducks. I want you to use all 6 bricks, build a duck, take it apart again, build a different duck. And I want to see who can get the most ducks, basically. I'm going to make it a bit competitive. So, you've got 2 minutes. We're going to do this really fast. We don't have a lot of time today, but see how many ducks you can get in 2 minutes, okay? Are you ready? Yeah. Enthusiastic, that's great. Ready to go. Okay, let's go. Skeptical looks around the room. Please don't choke on the Lego if you're going to put it in your mouth. But when you've got one, try and make a different kind, a totally different kind of duck. You're going to see how many you can make. It's still a duck. I love this. I see some people looking at me like, and other people going, how many do I get? How many do I get? How many do I get? Okay, I'm going to stop there. Show me your ducks. Can I see your ducks? This one's awesome. Brilliant. Okay, how was it? How many ducks did you make? 7? Anybody beat 7? Ah, how many did you get? 9? Whoa. Not bad. Round of applause for 9. Not bad. Okay, but what if I had said, draw as many different ducks as you can? Or if I'd have said, talk to your neighbour and describe as many ducks as you can? It's obviously a lot more difficult. Okay, but after a 2-minute exercise, I'm not expecting you all to scream, Eureka! And run to a Lego store on the way to work. You know, it's not really my mission here. The point of this exercise is designed to show you how important it is when you're problem solving to use your haptic senses, to really engage your haptic senses. And, I mean, everybody's duck is different, right? I don't think I saw one duck that looked the same as anybody else's. And this is about your abstract ideas, giving them a physical, tangible body. But what I was saying before about how you really get your brain moving when you use your hands, for me, this is about the hand-mind connection. And I can give your brain a helping hand. So by using 3D objects, and using things when you're thinking, it really helps processes like learning and memory, which are really facilitated by how you use your bodies to interact with the world. So, I mean, hands-on learning helps learning in general. It's just the way it is. I'm sure you found yourselves doodling when you're on the phone, fidgeting in a meeting. Who cares what anyone says? It's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing to keep your hands engaged. And this is all really about unlocking tacit knowledge. And tacit knowledge is based on this premise that we know more than we can tell. There's a lot more inside us than we can physically or verbally express. So when you start to manipulate things, and it doesn't have to be Lego, it can be Play-Doh, it can be tissues, it can be pens, like I'm desperately fidgeting with now. It can be anything, just to really help engage your brain And using your hands acts like a search engine for the brain. It helps you fish out and find information that wasn't there consciously. And for me, I mean, I know that it really helps my concentration. When I'm trying to think about something really abstract and trying to make it happen, I offload everything from my brain and I have it in front of me. I can see it. I can use it. And this really gets me in the zone. I'm really concentrated then. You know, I've heard about this guy whose name I can't pronounce. I'm going to try it. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, who developed flow theory. I think some of you have heard about that. And this is when you're in that totally focused state of mind where all external stimuli are just, they're gone. You're not aware of them anymore. And this is what I get. This is the zone I get into whenever I start to build stuff. I get these flow moments. And I think that's why kids love building stuff so much. You know, when you're trying to get the kids like, hello, and they're not paying any attention to you because they're busy. They're in their own zone. And that's the place that I go to whenever I start to use my hands. The other advantage is about giving ideas a body. I talked about this already a little bit. It's about physically representing abstract thoughts. And you can literally build your metaphors. When you're thinking about something that's so bizarre and you're really trying to pin down what the key components are, you can build them. You can put them together, you can see how they fit together, and you build metaphors. And this is brilliant as a communication tool when you put it in a project management context. You're working in a big project with 6 different people who all have different agendas. Build. Let them build. Everybody builds their tasks, everyone sees what they want to do, they define their barriers, their intentions, they can have see-through bricks to represent the transparency of it, or however else they want to represent it. But it's visible, and it's shareable, and that's how you turn tacit knowledge, this personal knowledge that nobody else has access to, into shareable knowledge that other people can see and use. And it's really a democratic way of using this in a business context that everybody builds, everybody shares their story, you can try and connect them together, but everybody's heard. And that's why it's really important for me. I find this making process a great communication tool as well as a problem-solving tool. Now, I've spoken a lot about Lego because I love Lego. It makes sense to me, I can build it, it's great. But it's not just about Lego, it doesn't just have to be Lego. I can do this with pipe cleaners or straws or feathers or old coffee cups. Anything you find lying around, just grab it, manipulate it in your hand, feel it, get your thoughts flowing. And that's the message I'm here to bring to you today. You don't have to build something beautiful just to sell to somebody. You're building for the sake of building, because building is thinking and feeling. Making is feeling and thinking. So just to recap my 3 points, because as you can tell I'm nervous, you might not have understood me. It's about giving your brain a hand. It's about unleashing this tacit knowledge and offloading your brain. It's about getting in the zone, really just absorbing yourself and getting on with it. And it's about giving your ideas a body that you can see and that you can share. This is why I hated art so much at school. The blank page, the fear of the blank page. Where do I begin? How do I start that? What do I do with that? Give me pens, give me paint. I freak out, I cannot do it. So when I've got something in front of me that's there to help me think, that's there to help me get creative, well, of course I'm going to get excited about that. So I know there's a lot of creative people in the room who are probably looking at me going, oh, sweetheart, bless, you know. And this is why this was so scary for me, because I know that a lot of you do use your hands in your work, but I'm here to say that someone who, I consider myself uncreative. I don't consider myself creative. But I found a new hidden creativity inside of me that I was able to unlock, like tacit knowledge, through the bricks, through the Play-Doh, through thinking with my hands. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you.